So they don't want none, huh? Well, I sure do.
It's the granddaddy of them all, my fellow and future outlaws, so naturally this is your in-ring rundown, and I am that N-I-K-A-K double G. Can't you just feel that electricity in the air? That tension that you could cut like butter with a warm knife? That roar of the crowd as they get ready for the opening ceremonies? We kick off the scene-ativities with our panel of experts, now conveniently located in this giant-ass room with a green screen with a level of quality that I'm pretty sure that even I could have afforded. One of our lovely guests here, Mr. Corey Graves, bowtie aficionado and weirdly an expert in acting like Michael Collier tonight. And Peter Rosenberg, hip-hop aficionado, yeah right, an expert in finally showing me what a default creative character would look like just wearing a tuxedo. It's night one of an event whose tagline was created when Vince McMahon realized that it was just too big a risk for one night. We finally get the rundown of the main card to see who will be main eventing in front of tens of thousands of nobody. Oh goody, tonight's gonna be Becky versus Shayna, Daniel versus Sammy, Taker versus AJ, and Kevin Owens versus... Holy shit, man. If he actually turned out to be Jesus and saves us all, I wouldn't be that surprised. We come back to the storage closet, kickoff panel room, where Corey Graves reveals Walter White's philosophy for the entirety of Breaking Bad.
Okay, well you disagree, I'm gonna make sure the bills are paid.
Hey look, it looks like they're finally gonna talk about Goldberg and Braun Strowman. Are they finally gonna give us some details why Roman is out and Strowman is in? Is it because their names rhyme together? Is it because Roman Reigns has an actual legitimate reason for not wanting to be there? Will there be any details at all? Please? No? I hate you! Peter has the audacity to ask Corey the depressing question regarding his thoughts about the SmackDown Tag Team Championship picture. But instead of countering with any sort of creative thought, he introduces us to two random white guys he found on the street trying to imitate Will Smith's clean rap style.
We're famous for winning. That's why we're the champs. Yeah, son. Yeah. Miz and Morrison. Come on.
This is so stupid. This is so fucking stupid. How could anyone even like this? God.
Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, come on. Ho, ho, let's go. Hey. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho, yeah, you know.
Miz and Morrison. We're only 23 minutes in and only one 5-minute promo away from an actual match here on WrestleMania Hit tonight. But wait, hold that thought. Peter Rosenberg has decided to be terrible one last time before we get there.
Excited about this WrestleMania.
Oh my God, there is so much to be excited about when you think about WrestleMania this year. For me personally, so much more to do on the kickoff show.
They had time to retake and edit this, and you can still see the pain in Corey's eyes. Only 30 minutes into the kickoff show now, and it's time for action between two men who weren't advertised or weren't mentioned till about 5 minutes ago. Drew Gulak, who I'm pretty sure stole his theme music from the first level in a Metal Gear Solid game. And Cesaro, a man I'm pretty sure stole his Titantron entrance background from something shitty I edited back in 2016. And naturally, because we have an entire hour for the kickoff show and two men who have the conditioning to easily go deep into a match, we'd naturally get a 20-minute barn burner, right? Oh wait, silly me. I was reading the notes that were labeled what should have happened. Here's the correct ones. Drew Gulak works on Cesaro's arms for about 5 minutes and then is defeated when he grows 2 extra limbs like Goro and airplane spins him onto the mat. Who even wrote this shit? We head back to this random closet where Kayla is interviewing King Colonoscopy, who has a new hit single that he wants to share with the world.
It is WrestleMania! And my kingdom cannot be stopped!
I love the harmonica. Such a beautiful instrument. Oh fuck yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know it wouldn't be a complete WrestleMania without some input from the lovely Booker T. And while I'd like to tell you that he did something crazy and ridiculous, it was actually Mark Henry that slips up and reveals what every WWE superstar must learn on his own.
Well, I mean, I can't never completely agree with Booker T.
Only a few minutes until the main show, and we head back to our lean, mean green screen scene where Peter Rosenberg claims he knows many friends who are having a Zoom party tonight. Which I can only assume is a party located near a storage facility full of Adderall hosted by Sonic the Hedgehog, the Flash, and that weird Zoom Zoom kid from the Mazda commercial. Do you know what time it is, folks? It's time to rumble. It's time for the main card. It's time for clearly the most exciting way to open up WrestleMania ever. Stephanie McMahon talking for about 2 minutes straight. Yes, with all the recent horrible events in the world, she's here to remind us all that WWE will continue to do what it does best. Piss you off and subvert your expectations. Subvert them in perfect lazy nostalgia by having a compilation of all the men and women who have sung for the opening ceremony for WrestleMania over the years. We are then treated to what might be the single best piece of promotional material that WWE has ever produced. Full of epic action sequences involving Roman Reigns, who is apparently lost at sea, and a man who clearly will not give up this battle axe. But none of this compares to the moment before Dynamax Kingler appears as the final boss before WrestleMania. And if I've learned anything in my 30 years playing gaming, the only way to defeat a giant enemy crab is to strike its weak point for massive damage. To which Seth demonstrates by getting a lucky hit with Fissure and one-shotting the giant beast. And naturally, because we just watched one of the best things I've ever seen, let's move along to the host of WrestleMania, whose name may or may not be Mike Wazowski. He and Mojo Nojo are here to get the crowd hyped for the opening match. I can already hear them getting louder and louder as the match begins. That opening bout surprisingly being for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Not at all a risky choice to keep people invested from the beginning of the show, mind you. It's John O'Clock, mother lovers, who's being allowed to join Michael Cole here tonight on commentary as long as he uses the shitty AEW mic that he had earlier. The Kabuki Warriors actually spend a great deal of this match getting dominated by the likes of Alexa Bliss and Naughty Nikki. And regardless of what two women seemed to be in the ring at the time, all four of these women made so much noise that I kind of forgot that there wasn't a crowd for a good while. I also kind of forgot that I had eardrums as well. Those mean sisters, Kyrie and Asuka, gain the upper hand and start tormenting Alexa over and over on the ground, stepping on her repeatedly as Nikki is forced to watch in agony in the corner. The pain in Alexa's eyes is just too much for Cross to bear, causing her to transform in the only way she knows how, by stripping.
For the win! Nikki for the win! And Kyrie!
Now, while it may look like good old ref touchy-feely botched this 3 count, upon later review it was just shown that he was just trying to cop a feel upon Asuka between numbers. Nikki's power level is so high right now that not even a Doomsday elbow drop can seem to put her down, causing the Kabuki Warriors to get frustrated and make a critical mistake.
Sway, nobody home.
Jesus Christ, did you hear that? That sounds so painful. I feel so bad for her. Let's play it again!
Sway, nobody home.
With her partner on the outside, Kyrie is left vulnerable to the swinging neck breaker and the twisted bliss, suffering defeat, relinquishing their titles, and learning the most important lesson of all. When Nikki Cross starts stripping, you run for the hills. What do you do when your biggest show of the year has no crowd and you already started with a match that most people may not care about? You double down, of course, with Corbin versus Elias. But before we can get into that action, JBL reveals the slogan printed on every Amazon employee's ID badge.
Bend the knee, you're used to it.
Elias is so beloved by his company that his entrance is literally just one guitar string long and nothing more. But he does get to use that one guitar for one massive blow to the back of Corbin before we even get to start the match. Unsatisfied with his first murder attempt, naturally, Corbin begins the actual match by basically just tossing him into the sky and dumping him over the rope, asserting his dominance over an Elias that probably should be more injured than he is at this point. He tells Michael Cole and JBL the exact same thing that Vince McMahon tells his testicles every morning.
You two better be over there telling everybody how good I am.
Corbin is so good at his job that he tries to help the ref out by slipping her a nickel bag and offering her a date after the show. But Elias quickly realizes that he stole that from his back pocket and goes into rage mode, landing a beautiful Falcon knee and to my surprise actually picking up the win with a roll-up until I realized that I was just surprised that a match ended with a roll-up. I just want to believe, you know. Hey there, friends. Do you remember at the Elimination Chamber when I asked?
I wonder if Vince is impressed yet.
Yeah, well, there's a strong chance that might not just be the case when your match is third down the card on a show that has 2 nights available for it. Yes, it's Becky versus Shayna, the Raw Women's Champion versus the Cage Fighter. The man in orange hair driving a big rig versus the woman who has a history of sneaking on unsuspecting victims and biting him in the neck like a vampire. I think I heard of a story like that once at Burning Man. Both women start slugging it out in the beginning of this match, something that the commentators say that Becky has no chance in matching Shayna's power. Well, that's too bad for them because the man decides to just dominate over this wild and vicious fighter that literally just dominated 5 people at once in one match last month. We're then treated to an audio clip of Byron Saxton telling us all the same thing he had to tell guests as the WWE tour guide walking past Vince McMahon's office.
And this is a dangerous part of town now.
Becky can't seem to get away from the furious submission laid on her by Shayna, deciding that the best option is to go for an armbar on the top of the rope, which basically has her arm in a normal position and would not hurt at all. The Queen of Spades has had enough of the man's games and decides to slam her head into the announcer's table just like she did on Raw. How will Becky be able to recover from this? Surely this means she's on the path to being defeated. I mean, at least down the line, right? I mean, this match has only been going on for about 10 minutes or so. They wouldn't just end it with one counter to the clutch, would they?
I guess Vince isn't impressed yet.
It's Intercontinental Championship time between a man whose catchphrase is basically the equivalent of someone having a powerful orgasm versus the man who I'm pretty sure looked exactly like Dr. Robotnik before he finally snapped and began his plans to take over the world. Dr. Generico's evasion stats are on full display, causing Daniel Bryan to have to chase him in and out of the ring at the beginning of this match, revealing the impressive results of his training as well as possibly revealing why Dr. Eggman is still so fucking fast even after gaining all that beer weight. Daniel Bryan finally gets his hands on a Sami Zayn who does not, I repeat, does not make this sound like a tentacle rape scene.
Daniel, listen to me! Listen to me! Oh, God! Oh, God!
Both men make my day by taking it upon themselves to beat the literal shit out of each other for the next 5 minutes or so. But unfortunately, because this is the WWE, two men who could have stolen the show only go about 10 minutes before his collection of artists knock down the good buddy Drew on the outside. And while he does quickly eliminate them with a Super Cena D-Tope, for some reason this is the year 2020 and Daniel Bryan forgets that when you jump off the top rope, you're actually supposed to do a move. Getting hit by a Halula kick, that's definitely not just a weak-ass standing big boot and then picking up the win over him cleanly. Daniel! That's like twice in 2 months. What are you doing, man? Tell me, my good fellow, if you had told me 3 months ago that the SmackDown Tag Team Championship would be defended with 3 men in a triple threat ladder match, I would have called you a fool. But alas, here we are with the same 3 men from the same 3 teams that we've been watching for 3 months anyway, so let's enjoy the sounds of ladders crackling for about 22 minutes. Unfortunately for all of us, though, JBL's mic seems to have recovered back to full power, and my god is he putting it to good use.
Sometime in a triple threat, you just have to get a little lucky.
Yes, JBL, sometimes you just have to get lucky, even when you're getting smashed in between 2 ladders. That could cause serious injury if you happen to land on one of them in an awkward way. I'm so glad you're here, JBL, to share your expert thoughts on the matter. Morrison lands a Starship Pain onto Jimmy upon the ladder in a devastating fashion.
And this is what we mean by parkour.
Who the fuck was that? Kofi takes a page out of Riho's book by double stomping John Morrison's perfectly sculpted chest, but pays for his cockiness when Jimmy Uso throws his ass into the corner, talking mad about the shit in the process. All 3 men meet at the top in a correlated effort to screw the rules and to grab the tag team championship belts at the same time, confusing each other and the commentators, as no one seems to know how to move forward. Oh wait, never mind, Morrison grabs one of the belts and falls down on the ladder. He wins. So that counts.
Yeah, that counts.
Alright. Roll it. Ah, damn, folks, we're not even finished with night 1. Lord Jesus, please take the wheel. Oh, there he is. Thank you. Bathed in white, the CrossFit Jesus has truly descended upon us to settle his blood feud with a rampaging Owens. A rampage that does allow him to toss Seth into the barricades around the ring, before apparently Seth's godmode.exe finally finishes downloading.
When the lights are the brightest, Kevin, I too become a god!
That statement would probably hold more merit if he wasn't surrounded by literally the smallest amount of people and production staff that they could possibly have while still holding the event. Seth heads over to the announcer's table, grabs the ring bell, and it's over. No, wait, never mind. They decided to not make my blood boil and actually restart this match as a no DQ contest. I'm fine with this. I'm even more fine with this when Seth channels his inner Dean Ambrose, flying at KO with a flurry of chairs and even knocking him out cold with the steel steps. KO doesn't take kindly to this wrestler trying to beat him up in a wrestling match and decides to smash him in the face with the same ring bell that ended the first match. And then he scales up the WrestleMania sign so quickly and so believably and definitely with no editing whatsoever that Seth is unable to avoid the blast radius of his leg drop. Quickly followed by an emphatic stunner in the middle of the ring, the man with 1,004 different ways to cannonball you finally gets his WrestleMania victory. Be still my heart, baby. Mojo and Gronk, seriously, that's the name, are up on their perch when a wild R-Truth appears. He seems flustered and needs a safe haven to hide from all the people who are socially distancing themselves for the 24/7 championship. Luckily for everyone, it oney takes one weak-ass elbow strike from Gronk and allow Mojo to pick up the victory and take his title. Seriously, man, though. One elbow strike. Like, how fucking strong is Gronk? Paul Heyman is so powerful that his voice alone can scare and surprise someone who is literally watching him holding a camera.
WrestleMania that's too big for
Ladies and gentlemen, my name...
That's right, folks. It's the match you've all been waiting for. A heated rivalry between 2 behemoths. A feud that's maybe been growing for half a day now, with no build-up and almost no explanation to why it's even happening in the first place. So, mostly things are the same. First down the ramp is the monster among men, bearing a primal scream that I'm pretty sure he stole the vocal cords from a T-Rex, and a full head of steam ready to be unleashed. Followed by Roid Rage Roshi, who as you can see only has 2 nurses joining him now as the rest were needed at the local hospital. Thanks to our lovely administration that was definitely prepared and not causing our health system to be overwhelmed. Sorry, I didn't mean to get political there, but I just happened to be seething with rage about it. A few seconds into the championship bout and it becomes painfully clear that Vince McMahon forgot to turn off the all specials cheat code. As in typical Goldberg fashion, he connects on Braun with a series of spears, burning through 4 running specials in a matter of 60 seconds. Unfortunately for Big Granddaddy Bill, running specials just don't seem to have the same power as front specials, being power slammed 4 times by the Bearded Brute and pinned cleanly in the middle of the ring in front of zeros of fans. And while I'm very happy for Braun and 100% agree that he should have had a title like this a long time ago, I really just want to ask him how he learned to roar like a black bear.
It was only a few...
I want to learn how to do that. So I wholeheartedly admit that I had no idea what a boneyard match was supposed to be, and I bet you're all wondering what I thought about it. Well, let me put it in layman's terms for you. If WWE went forward doing nothing but this kind of match, I'd still watch it. Why, you may ask? Here's why. The graveyard itself against an entrance. That's it. AJ shows up in a casket with the Orange County Druids, fooling us all in the process. Although I'm not 100% sure where that music is coming from, though. Taker arrives on his bike in his final form, Taker, equipped with so much American ruggedness that he's able to consistently knock down AJ with just one punch. AJ can do nothing but try to evade this onslaught as he lures him over to the limousine, wheezing profusely. And naturally, the Undertaker decides that he's doing just a little bit too well and Goldberg's the limousine window, cutting his hand in multiple places. He responds to this by showing AJ some of his recent Biden-like training.
Still want some of this, old man?
Oh shit, the OC appear with an epic reveal. It's a slow motion showdown between the OC and the Undertaker. This is so awesome. This is so epic. Oh my god. Oh my god. Taker wrecks both of these newly appeared mini bosses with about 2 punches each before AJ goes against the advice of every former wrestler of all time and hits him with only the kitchen sink. Yes, an actual fucking kitchen sink. I mean, it might have been a bathroom sink, but either way, he be hurting. AJ takes control and starts to beat down the dead man for what appears to maybe the final time, putting the old man to rest as he begins to wheeze uncontrollably. Like, he wheezes a lot. Like, seriously, like, there's so much wheezing. Just, he wheezes. There's so much. That's when AJ grabs the most powerful weapon of all, Triple H's personal burial shovel, smashing it over the Undertaker's back and sending him into the pit. AJ seems poised for victory when all of a sudden Taker's dead man and biker form finally emerge, allowing him to teleport behind him, completely recovered and back to full power. A toss into the abyss goes Luke Gallows. A tombstone on top of the roof goes Carl Anderson. A choke slam down to the ground goes AJ Styles. Clearly the dead man is close to seizing this victory. Uh-oh though, dementia appears to be setting in as he can't seem to remember any personal details.
Hey, what's my wife's name? You remember her name now? Jay, why don't you tell me how old I am?
Just like every wrestler has said to Vince in the first 30 days of their employment, AJ says he's sorry and begs the Undertaker not to bury him. To which he complies wholeheartedly by burying him in the pit, with the most epic and not at all over-choreographed and overproduced set of pyros that I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding, I loved it. Whoa, Nelly, that was night one, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand by while we go to commercial.
Jimmy, your friends are here.
Hey there, kid. You got Smash Brothers? Ah, that's some good advertising there. Let's head to night 2, shall we? And yes, you guessed it. We head back to the kickoff panel room where our best friends Corey and Peter are having a spirited conversation. And we're in luck. We have arrived just in time for Corey to reveal the only piece of dialogue anyone ever hears as they walk past the WWE writing staff room.
If some is good, more is better.
Oh, you know it wouldn't be WrestleMania without that kitten who was once bitten and twice shy on Tuesdays. Here to face Liv Morgan in another non-advertised match that Tom Phillips claims is an opportunity for her to prove herself. But to whom, we may never know.
On now, Morgan just playing mind games with Natalya.
Yeah, you definitely want to watch out for those mind games. Those smooth and supple, conveniently wrapped in leather just enough to make you wonder what's underneath mind games. I can't wait to see what other games she's willing to play. Shit, when'd you guys get here? Liv Morgan times her L trigger properly, countering Natty's grapple attempt and rolling her up for the victory. The roll up. The roll up. The roll up. For roll-ups! Backstage, Ziggler and Sony are pacing back and forth, unsure what to do about their Mandy situation before Kayla ambushes them with her perfect freckles. She asks Ziggler if his inability to grow as a character over the last decade will have any effect on his match performance tonight. Ziggler quickly coughs and exits immediately. Oh my god, it's Booker T once more again. Let's see if he has anything to say.
I know Christian is talking from his heart.
Thank you, Booker, for those wise words of wisdom. They really hit me. Hit me right in the heart. The opening ceremonies for the main card begin with the one thing you know you wanted to see again, Stephanie McMahon talking in front of a green screen. And while your instant reaction may be to turn off your program, resist it while you can, as we all get rewarded with the greatest opening promo of all time once more. Like seriously, man, you gotta believe WrestleMania was pirate themed just so Seth could one-shot that giant enemy crab. What the hell else could it be? Night 2 begins with a proper opener as Rhea Ripley and Charlotte prepare to do battle. A Charlotte that is wearing the single best robe that I've ever seen. And I refuse to believe that color scheme wasn't inspired by Melee Gannon. But before the champion comes out, let's do a promo in between entrances because this definitely isn't just an episode of Raw. And God forbid we don't actually just play this before the match begins. Rhea lands an early shitty riptide that the Queen is able to kick out at 2, retaliating with a series of chops and strikes to her leg to soften it up for the figure 8 later. Instead of commentating on the action in the ring though, Tom Phillips tells us all his inner thoughts what it was like being quarantined with Nikki and her husband over the weekend.
This has gotten nasty very, very quickly.
Charlotte begins to stomp on Rhea Ripley over and over when all of a sudden we begin to hear these weird primal screams. I think someone may have let a jaguar loose in the building.
Elder kick to the...
Unfortunately for Rhea though, Peter did not sign off on this level of animal abuse and is found guilty of not being Charlotte. Therefore, actual Charlotte must lock in the figure 8 and win this absolutely brutal, holy crap, they really just did beat the shit out of each other for 15 minutes match.
Hold on to your hand sanitizer, folks, because it's time to pick a fight. And for once, no, I don't mean with the pregnant woman that just stole the last slice of pizza at the gas station. A feud between two men who have had no on-screen interaction whatsoever. A feud also known as...
As you can see, Alistair has come prepared with his high-level Necro battle armor, and if you pay close attention on the chest, it does reveal that it gives +2 to all skills and a 30% damage bonus to all poison and magic spells. And then we're treated to probably the quietest match I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'd like to say that it would be better if there was a crowd there, but I'm not 100% sure the environment would change that much. Both men strike each other back and forth with serious heavy blows, but Bobby Lashley's running moves are just too devastating for the Dark One to handle, even setting him up quickly for his signature finisher, the Daddy Dom. Seemingly ready to take victory before a wild pelican appears on the apron trying to help her captain catch a fish.
No! Spirit!
Unfortunately for the captain, Alistair is just too evasive in the water, easily dodging a spear attack and landing a black mass on the black mass for his WrestleMania victory. We head backstage where Kayla continues to show us her training under Charlie by ambushing another group of people, this time the super best friends known as Bayley and Sasha. Unfortunately, Sasha, just like the rest of us, can't get over how short Bayley cut her hair again. It's just too sad to talk right now. Hey Gronk, what do you want to do here tonight more than anything at WrestleMania?
I wouldn't mind winning the 24/7 title by end of the tonight.
Ah yes, that is a respectable the goal. I truly wish you the luck and the will be the rooting for the you when it happens. Fire up that grill and raise my cholesterol because it's Otis time. And no matter how suave Ziggler looks or how stupidly yummy Sonya looks in that outfit, nothing will be able to stop the man with a weight probably similar to my area code from tearing up the house tonight. But before we can get into that action, JBL shows us all that he's been practicing his speeches for future political campaigns.
What kind of stooge would set up a hidden camera? That is such fake news.
Ziggler sticks to the dirty tactics, continuously raking at the big man's eyes multiple times. And I will give credit where credit is due. He does spend the first half of this match whittling down the big man slowly but surely. But to his regret, he makes the mistake of kicking Otis right in the jimmies, causing a shockwave of power to flow through his body, tossing Ziggler around the ring like a ragdoll before landing a literal fucking pump-up world's strongest slam that somehow didn't end the match. Seriously, how is that not a finisher? Irregardless, Sony uses her dastardly distracting hips to confuse the Otis momentarily, leaving him open to a low blow by the Ziggles. This triggers Otis's trap card, Golden Goddess. When activated, a blonde guardian in an unnecessarily revealing outfit will appear to beat the shit out of Sonya and low blow this poor dolphin. Otis sees this wounded animal and gets excited, doing a mating dance in an effort to get his affection. Unfortunately, he doesn't know his own strength and accidentally elbow drops the poor creature to death. Time for a match that everyone was actually looking forward to, the last man standing match between Randy Orton and Edge. And Edge who comes out first and waits in the middle of the ring for his opponent to show up. What he did know is that jobs are hard to find at these trying times, and with the WWE being short-staffed, Orton figured he could pick up a few extra bucks as a cameraman here tonight. Immediately landing an RKO on the returning veteran, Edge seems to be dazed and confused. Not so much because of the head trouble, but because our favorite ref, Touchy-Felia, can never truly be satisfied.
You gotta give me an audible that you're yes to continue, okay?
Yes!
No. You gotta get to your feet, all right? You get to your feet, and then we'll start the match.
Yes. Welcome, everyone, to this year's WrestleMania Performance Tour Extravaganza. With your wholesome guides here tonight, Edge and Randy Orton. Here we see them entering the weight room facility, where Orton shows Edge a new workout that gets unfortunately rapey, unfortunately quickly.
Yes, you're mine. I just want you to know, I'm always gonna love you.
Oh yes, back to the tour. We're given a sneak peek at these random hallways with some production material, as it looks like Orton may be under some distress. If you look here, we'll have to go by the ringside area one more time so we can head over to these random hallways and offices. Ooh, now this is a treat. This is the table where the WWE writing staff spend their time crunching the numbers, making sure that every single member of the roster is as close to a 50% win rate as possible. Edge demonstrates how to do a Spider-Man elbow drop onto your opponent into oblivion before we're nearing the end of our tour. Out in the garage, our tour guys put on a show revealing the dangers of fighting someone on top of a bus. That climactic scene arriving when Edge decides to steal Jake Hager's finisher and choking out Orton on top of the chair. And of course he gives him a nice steel sandwich just to top it off and send that sneaky little tour guide Orton back to Dreamland. And that concludes our tour of the WWE Performance Center. We really hope you enjoyed this.
We also hope you enjoyed the fact that the ref only yelled at Randy Orton when he was going to give Edge a concerto, and then when Edge was about to give him one a few minutes later, the ref didn't give a shit.
Social distancing! Give me a break! The 24/7 title is essential!
Moving right along to the Raw Tag Team Championship match, it's the Street Profits versus what I honestly thought was Primo and Epico when I saw the match graphic. But no, it's that silky smooth Angel Garza and a man named named Austin that no one truly knows anything about. I do have a theory, though. They are flagged by Zelina Vega, who is now donning her golden bone armor, finally completing our Diablo 2 original character cast. The others, of course, being Necro, Paladin, Amazon, and Barbarian. Garza realizes that the only way he's going to be able to take control is to channel the power of Nikki Cross and begin the stripping.
Put the legendary Rey Mysterio on the injured shelf.
You know, I think my favorite part about that line is that I can 100% believe that Vince McMahon would just have a giant shelf that he puts injured wrestlers on until they're healed. Are you surprised? Would you? I didn't think so. Ford jumps over the top rope, crashing down on everyone and causing friendly fire to his partners, something I definitely know a thing or two about. But just when you think Austin's hypothesis is about to come to pass, Ford comes crashing down from the sky on top of him, allowing his buddy Dawkins to roll over slightly and pick up the win. After the match, Garza Theory begins to beat down the Street Profits alongside Zelina Vega before this strange large woman with a snake hanging from her head appears. She quickly dispatches of Zelina Vega on her own, but the other two are very scared of snakes and flee immediately. Did someone say a 5-women elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship that I wish I could be more excited about? Almost as excited as Tamina is at the beginning of this match, throwing everyone around like ragdolls. I wonder if she's gonna get ganged up on. This match carries on with way too much dancing and not nearly enough prancing, which is only halted when, for some stupid fucking reason, the 3 ex-members of Team Bad decide to reunite randomly. Magically reunite for about 3 seconds before Sasha's face is reunited with Tamina's boot. Everyone realizes that they must combine their powers to take out the person who hasn't won a title in 12 years, and eliminates Tamina from the match with a dog pile. Who knew?
Yeah, you better run. You better run, you little dance machine.
Wow, what a fucking insult. This is supposed to be PG, dog. Only Lacey Evans remains with the two best friends that have a bond so unbreakable that apparently all it takes is a slight misstep between the two for Sasha to get angry between them. This chaos between the two signals the demise of Sasha Banks when Lacey Evans knocks her the fuck out with a woman's right not to vote. I mean, to vote. I'm sorry. I always forget that's not just a joke now. It's down to Lacey versus Bayley. A craftier, more skillful Bayley who manages to pressure Lacey into the corner and tie her up with a ring rope. How will the Marine Mama be able to escape this one? How will she be able to... Oh wait, never mind, she's free. More than 3 minutes have gone by since the last 2 remaining women in this match have started squirreling, so naturally we're 90 seconds overdue for an interruption. Luckily, Sasha is here to save the day and attack Lacey just enough for Bayley to finish her off and retain her title. So everyone, have you been wondering for the last 22 hours what happens when you take something like the Boneyard match and then you two poop it? Well, even if you did, you still wouldn't be able to compare it to what we're about to watch next. Yes, of course, I'm talking about the Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. A match that in my notes I wrote, I'm really surprised this is happening in the arena to begin with. Without any warning though, Cena appears in the Firefly Funhouse itself, which makes sense because his expression looks like he may have taken a Xanax a bit too early today. Naturally, just following Bray Wyatt with no questions whatsoever, we're transported to the first match he ever had versus Kurt Angle. Unfortunately, the prototype seems to have a few kinks in it and can't respond with anything other than his own sheer ruthless aggression. But that's okay, don't blink, because right now it's Saturday night's main event with my favorite special guest of all time, Johnny Large Meat, which no, isn't the name of the sex doll I just bought. Or could buy. But no, it's actually the nickname for the new John Cena workout prototype. I can't wait to try it. Alright, Cena prototype, I'm ready for you to throw at me what you got. Let's do this. Ooh, I'm feeling the burn. How you doing over there? Okay, a little bit faster. Dude, slow down. We just started. You're going too fast. I think it's broken. Woo! That was quite an impressive workout. Now back to the match. Or timeline. I'm not really sure at this point, to be honest. Breaking news, as John Cena turns heel and joins the NWO, causing his merchandise sales to plummet immediately. Vince McMahon can simply not allow that and forces The Fiend to end the match immediately with a mandible claw in the middle of the ring, located in what I can only assume is the Shadow Realm. Again, I'm not really sure at this point. We're finally here, my fellow outlaws, the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania. What surprises will they have in store for us? What story will these two gorilla-like men be able to tell in the ring that definitely isn't just a repeat of what we saw last night? Oh, wait, so... It is just a repeat of what happened last night with Braun and Goldberg. They're just gonna do that? Well, shit. If they're gonna copy and paste, well, so am I. A few seconds into the championship bout, and it becomes painfully clear that Vince McMahon forgot to turn off the all specials cheat code. As in typical
Lesnar
fashion, he connects on
McIntyre
with a series of
F5s,
burning through
3 forward specials
in a matter of 60 seconds. Unfortunately for Big Granddaddy
Brock, his forward specials
just don't seem to have the same power as
Drew's running specials,
being
Claymored
4 times by the
Scottish
brute and pinned cleanly in the middle of the ring in front of zeros of fans. You see what I did there, WWE? You think you're better than me? Huh? Huh? Well, that's it for this episode of The Rundown. I want to thank you all for watching. This was probably my biggest episode to date, and if you love that wrestling comedy, then be sure to share with all your buddies in these trying times. You know they need a laugh. Tune in next week where who the fuck knows if I actually make an episode. Seriously, man. I miss people. And of course, a shout out to all my patrons. Be sure to use your stimulus checks to stimulate people into stimulating more money into my economy. I mean the economy. This has been Man from Earth with all the girth. Telling you to be the character you know you're worth. Check it. Yeah. Yeah, that. Well, that... who I'm pretty sure stole his theme music from the first level in a Metal Gear Solid game. Of all the men and women who have sung the Star-Spangled Banger. Star-Spangled Banger. The man in orange driving a big vig. Kofi takes a peek. Kofi takes a page. No, wait a minute. Taker arrives on his bike in his final form. Metallic-Taker, who is so... AJ shows up in a cat. Uh-oh, though. Dementia... Uh-oh. Here to face Lorva, who the fuck? Tossing him around the ring like a ragdoll before landing a literal fuck-up.
The climactic scene arriving when...
Yes, of course, I'm talking about the Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt, of course. Bray Wyatt. We're finally here, my fellow... Oh, man, Booker T, thank you for those words, wise and wisdom. Ignore that.